Here we go.
What you want? What you want?
Hey, welcome back to Unhinged Productions and part 2 of our cotton ball pumpkin tutorial. So in the last video we got the armatures built for these and got our pumpkin ridges all done, put our stem on. Working on 2, we even got the big one back here. This one, got a little more to do on that as we do this, so I'll just try to, put it all in one. Just get it in one. We'll try to do this in just 2 videos. So where we're going from here, you could just paint this thing up and leave it like a pumpkin. It'd be a nice fall decoration. But that ain't what we do here. We make monsters and freaky creatures. So the next step in this, I'm just going to pick a side that's going to look best for the face. Anybody that's made any Mache pumpkin or even, carving a standard pumpkin out, you can always turn that thing around until you find that perfect spot for the face. So I'm thinking this right here is probably going to be the best spot for a face, and so we're going to put it right in here. But to get the face going, all I'm going to do, I'm going to lightly just draw out a face on here until I get something I'm happy with. And once I'm really happy with it, I'm going to go ahead and take a marker and then outline that darker, and then we'll go cut it out. Just quit wasting time and get her done. Two faces. They'll both work, look pretty good. I'll have to admit this is a little pumpkin rodish. I like it and it works. And if you don't know who pumpkin rod is, you should. So next up we're going to carve these things out. What's that? How are we going to carve them out, you ask? Well, let me show you. We're going to carve them out with some power tools. Alright, so I used to have like this awesome side cutting bit for my Dremel tool here, but seems I've lost it. So we're going to try to use this little doohickey right here and put it on here and see if we can cut some pumpkins up, okay? Alright, first thing I want to re-emphasize back from the first step tutorial on this thing. Layer them up a whole lot during that boring strip mache part. The more layers you get, the stronger it'll be and the better off you're going to be. So this guy, this bigger dude. So truly, I rushed this guy to get this tutorial out there. Let me show you something here. Because I didn't layer it up enough, and this mouth already, see that? Yeah. So that mouth is already moving right now. It's going to droop. Even after I seal it, no matter what, it's going to wind up drooping. Where the teeth line up, it's going to cave back in, and there's nothing I can do about it now unless I put a whole bunch of other layers of cotton and stuff on this thing. I'm just really stuck with what I got. So layers make it strong. Armature strong. Number one thing in this whole deal, especially if that stuff's going to go outside, make sure you've got a stout, strong armature. Pro tip, But this little dude, he's small enough. The layers were the same, but he's so small that he's very, very rigid. So he's going to be great. This dude over here, though, yeah, he's going to be. One more thing. I know that in the video footage that the Dremel and everything makes it all look super easy and stuff, and the Dremel does help out. But when you draw these things so thin like this, you still really have to take your time when you're using that Dremel, because it's a pain. The smaller you do little teeth like this, I mean, the harder it is on you. So if you got less pointy teeth, you know, more gap in between, things like that, that makes it much easier to carve out. Getting it like that, if you're going to do it, you're going to have to take your time and deal with your frustrations. If you screw something up, it's not really a big deal. You can go back over it with some cotton or whatever and kind of add some of those little points back. Alright, pretty much you can take this thing and start painting him and put him outside. We ain't like that here. We're going to up the ante just a little bit more. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to use some more cotton. I'm going to do some layering like over these teeth and things and bring these out and make some more kind of hump and make them three-dimensional. We'll put some around the outside of the mouth here to kind of widen that out a little bit, like it's pulling the pumpkin as it smiles, that type of stuff. Make him look more like it's alive versus just carved out pumpkin. So one of the first things I'm going to do, I'm going to go ahead and layer some more Mache paste right in on all these edges here, because they kind of broke out and we got some little frillies going on, and I'm going to just take little bitty pieces of cotton and kind of push these back down in here, and we'll cover all that stuff back up again. So we got something with Mache paste that's layered around there. We don't really have any real exposed edges. More cotton and Mache paste. That's starting to look pretty decent. That makes that pumpkin look a little more like it's alive, right, instead of being carved out. There's some more adjustments I want to do to this, but I need to let this set dry overnight. That way I can layer some more things on without damaging some of the stuff that I've already done. If you decide to do this with cotton, it can be very frustrating because it's not clay. You're not sculpting with it. You know, you're just moving it and manipulating it and adding extra pressure to push things down. You can achieve some very cool looks with it. You can get facial expressions with it. You can do all that stuff, but it is very tedious. And so it's not the easiest thing in the world to use. Clay is much easier doing that type of stuff, but you can do it. This dude here, we're going to go ahead and put a stem on him. I'm not going to make this guy look like he's alive. He's going to look more like a standard pumpkin like this. So there's not a whole lot more that I'm going to do as far as the face on this. Pretty much that's how he's going to be. He looks pretty decent. I don't see any reason to have to make any of these ridges on the outside look any different than what they are. The only thing that I feel like needs to change is in here. I don't want this to dip down quite so much, so I'm going to raise this up. Kind of did myself an injustice by using such a big bowl to cut this out, because that made this dip so much further. If I would have done a smaller bowl, it wouldn't have dipped quite as much, but whatever, it can all be fixed. I'm going to build a stem for the bigger pumpkin real quick. I'm just going to use some aluminum foil as a base, wrap it all up nice and tight, get some kind of a funky, deal going with that, and then got some leftover 8-carton clay. I'll just smash it down on top of that and letting it hard up. Letting it harden up, and then we'll put it to the pumpkin after that. Hang on, let's stop them for a minute. I lied to you. Told you that we'd do this whole full tutorial in just 2 videos. Not gonna do it. We ain't gonna make it. Taking just a wee little bit longer to finish these things out, and told you guys there'd be at least a video a week. These gotta get finished up and they gotta dry completely before we can seal and paint and all that stuff. So we ain't getting the whole thing done in 2 videos. It's gonna be 3. Alright, the stem, that was pretty quick, huh? So it's dry. This thing isn't fully dry. The stem's kind of dry. It's not fully dry. Good enough for now. I can go ahead and put it on the top of the pumpkin. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to hot glue it into place at first, and then we're going to go ahead and start working on filling in the top side of the pumpkin and raising it up more, like I keep talking about, because I don't like how far it dips down. So let's work on the stem, shall we? Alright, so let's recap real quick where we've been and what's been done. This guy. So, yeah, we cut this mouth open and then just taking little bits of cotton here and there, and laying that cotton on there and just applying the glue and raising these features up, right? We gave it some kind of a lip line here, in here, and this kind of comes out just a little bit more. Makes it stand out. We've done the same thing on all of these bits and pieces. Got some little eyebrow type of situation going on that we put on here and here. And if you want to exaggerate them, just let it dry out and add more to it. And you can keep building up, and you can make them as exaggerated as you want or wherever you want to be. As far as the cotton and doing the facial features, I did one stage one night and just let that dry out, and then came back and just touched up a few things that I thought needed to have a little more detail put onto them. And so basically 2 days to get it done. Now this thing really needs to set and cure. One last thing I'm going to do to both of these is take a brush and one more time go over the entire pumpkins. This one and this one with just the Type Bond 2 and water Mache paste. Just one more time, let it soak in, let it dry up, and once that completely dries up and cures, we will continue on and paint these things. The stem turned out pretty decent. The top of the pumpkin looks a lot better. We don't have any big gaps anymore in between. So once I kind of raised these up some, then I just took another piece of cotton and went right into the middle and just laced it with the Mache paste and pushed it down so that it would kind of pull all that together. That way it all looks like a, basically a standard pumpkin. It's kind of neat, so many ways to do these things. The stem, once it dries out, I think I am going to go ahead and wrap. I'll probably go ahead and wrap either a newspaper or something and add just some texture, some different look to the vine, to make it kind of separate from everything else. That's basically it. So we got the faces carved out. We did some detail. Showed you how to pull up in this one, make it look a little more like an actual pumpkin that's come alive. This one's staying more like a pumpkin that's just been carved out. It's not too difficult to do. Next video, in the third one, we're going to seal these things and we're going to paint them, have them all set up and done. If you like this video and you want to show support, man, smash that like button and share this with everyone you know. The more you guys share this type of stuff, the more it really kind of helps out. And leave comments down below. I love seeing the comments. So drop a comment down below. Let me know that you were here. Let me know if you made it all the way to the end. I really appreciate that type of stuff. Also, if you guys want to help support the channel as well, I do have a Patreon page. I will put a link down in the description for it. Not a whole lot going on right now on that. There needs to be some content over there. But every little bit helps. It helps to keep this channel alive and keep me being able to do this type of stuff so I can show you guys the things I've learned and how easy it can be to make this type of stuff. So until next time, keep making something from nothing.
What you want?